actually make a difference.
Ladies and gentlemen, in 2018, as Malaysia straps in to face its 14th general election, there are those who suggest you throw your votes in the trash can, like the video you just saw. There's an apparent campaign calling to spoil votes in GE14. The campaign stems from the belief that neither BN nor Pakatan Harapan would bring systemic change. To discuss this topic today, we have Dr. Khoo Ying Hooi, a senior lecturer at the Department of International and Strategic Studies, University of Malaya, Birthday Secretariat, Mandeep Singh, and writer and Undi Rosak campaigner Hafidz Baharom. Let's start with Hafidz. Hafidz, you're asking people to spoil their votes. Why?
Well, first and foremost, it's not just me, all right? Undi Rosak is a campaign and a platform for people who have lost faith with both sides, Barisan Nasional, Pakatan Harapan, and they definitely don't want to vote PAS. Definitely don't want to vote PAS. So what we've done is, here's an option. If you can't choose whichever one you want to vote for, let's give a statement by Undi Rosak, by spoiling our votes, by saying that, you know what, someone may win, but, you know, looking at the spoil votes, legitimacy comes into question.
But you're very specifically asking them to spoil votes. Why not just ask them to stay at home?
Because staying at home is not recorded by individual vote tally by SPR or the Election Commission, all right? The number of Undi Rosaks or spoiled votes is actually placed into every single result that is announced by the EC.
So you think that it will make an impact by asking people to not spoil vote?
We don't know. Well, one of the things that you need to know about the Undi Rosak movement is, in every election there are spoiled votes, whether or not it's because they wrongly marked it, whether or not it's because they marked everyone. Actually, it's rather hard to spoil your vote, as someone pointed out to me. So maybe there is a simple movement within the voting population who has always decided they didn't want to choose either side.
Some would accuse you of, by asking people not to vote, you're actually asking them to vote for BN, or this helps BN in some way.
Alright, no, it doesn't help BN. In 1999, and you can check an article by Zulkifli Sulong, which was in September the 3rd on Malaysian Insight. In 1999, apparently the Terengganu voters boycotted the election and Terengganu fell to PAS. Alright, if we look at 2008, Pakatan Harapan actually won a lot of seats, which recorded a lot of spoiled votes and also missing votes. Whether or not it was because someone sabotaged or whether it was by choice is up to question. But in 2008, Tan Sri Anwar Musa, now Tan Sri, lost his seat in Ketere by 901 votes in Undi Rosak and missing votes. Palanivel in Hulu Selangor, 1,491. Zulkifli Ahmad from PAS won Kuala Selangor with 79.
But here's the thing though, this time around, like in GE12 and 13, especially, I think this question was for Dr. Khoo, we didn't see it take center stage. It was not a big issue. Now you have people like Mahathir talking about it, top leaders in political parties are talking about it. Why is there a shift in voter sentiment now?
Well, I think when we talk about the either the Undi Rosak campaign, the spoil vote campaign, we have to realize that while it is your democratic rights not to vote or you do the spoiled vote or anything like that, but we have to see that we're living in a different context where we have, for example, if you take birthday, the goal is about voters' education, voters' awareness. So the voters' turnout have actually increased, and that is one good sign that we achieve the highest turnout, voters' turnout. And we have to realize the context in Malaysia, it is not a democratic country. It is semi-democracy system. So in a system like this, sometimes I have to question the Undi Rosak campaigns, campaigners, for example. What's the motive behind it? For example, if you say both sides doesn't deserve the votes, but that leads to the argument of, are you voting for parties or are you voting for candidates? What if the constituency have a good candidates? So if you want to educate people about your rights, about civic duty and so forth, you have to look beyond that. And you have to realize that democracy, human rights, all these kind of topics, it is only among the privileged groups, educated people, we understand it much better than even sometimes not fully. But how about those people who never realize what is democracy actually, and what are the messages that we actually sending them? And we look at our index, electoral integrity, 142 place, and it is a really bad index, I mean, around the world, if you look at the electoral integrity project. So living with that kind of systems, the spoil vote, while I think they can do so, I mean that's their right to do so, it is not rational. It is not a feasible move at this point of time.
I'd like to get Hafidz to respond to this. She made a really good point. Why not vote for candidates? If you don't like the political party, why not give people in different areas vote for candidates? If your problem is with Mahathir, why not say where Mahathir contests, spoil your vote?
Well, honestly, we don't mind. If you still believe in the idea that, you know, you should vote for your candidate, go ahead and vote for your candidate. For myself, we've gone beyond that. That's the Undi Rosak campaign. If you look at Twitter, we have been telling people, if you still believe in your candidate, if you still believe in a party that you want to support, that you want to see win, this is not a platform for you. Okay? Undi Rosak is only for people who do not believe either side deserves it. By party, by candidate, by cause even, if they still believe in a cause. Alright? Undi Rosa is people looking beyond that, and they have gone apathetic. Alright? Maybe they're apathetic because they look at the policies both sides are giving, maybe they look at the candidate and both sides are giving horrible candidates. Maybe it's even because, you know, they don't like Mahathir. And honestly, I think most of the Undi Rosak people are that. That's not me. Okay, I've been studying your policies on Pakatan Harapan side and even BN side. I've been writing about politics for 10 years. Honestly, after a decade, you should have gotten your act together. They haven't.
So you're saying is that if you want to vote for somebody, go ahead. But there's always a third option of not.
There's always a third option of Undi Rosak. And this is what people don't understand. Alright, we are not asking you to stay home. We are not asking you not to go out and vote. We are doing neither of those. Okay? We want to see higher turnouts, most possibly, well, it's gone up to 85%, but I'm looking at the data and I'm hoping that Sarawak possibly can go up to the 70s and 80s, because right now it's 50-60% averaging. Okay? And I want them to go out and vote. But if they don't like their candidates, go ahead and spoil your vote. Alright?
Let's get Mandeep into this. You've been doing a lot of work for Bersih. You've been basically fighting for electoral reform, and then you have this view that, you know, is going out telling people Undi Rosak. What's your response to that?
Well, I think this Undi Rosak, Hafidz himself or the group, they're confused. You know, you were saying that Rosak can undi, and then you want high voter turnout. So it's two different. I mean,
no, it's not.
Okay, you can argue back later. Yeah. Right. But like what Khoo Ying Hooi said just now, you know, about the context of Malaysia itself, the democracy in Malaysia itself. I mean, do we have independent institution? Do we have SPR? I will go straight to SPR itself. Yeah. We managed to bring the delineation process, you know. This delineation process, we managed to drag it up to 4 years today. It's because we managed, the Malaysian people managed to deny two-third majority of Barisan Nasional, where for the first time Barisan Nasional couldn't add parliamentary seats. You know, this is because they don't have two-third majority, and the participation of people itself in terms of this process. So this is because of people came out to vote, and people had two choice, you know, to choose either back then Pakatan Harapan and Barisan Nasional. And Hafidz mentioned just now about low voter turnout in boycott in Terengganu 99. I would like to remind what happened in 99. It was a wave of reformasi. There was a wave that came out, you know, Terengganu and Kelantan. 2008, there was another wave. 2013, there was another wave of hope. Of course, the wave is not there today. And spoiling votes, I want to know how can we now save the institution or save the country. The country is in crisis. You want to spoil a vote. Spoiling a vote, how can we now save the country?
Yeah,
by
I think
spoiling
that's the
the
question
vote?
for Hafidz. Is the Undi, like, don't spoil your vote campaign, is it interested in saving the institution?
What institution? All right, here's the problem, and I've highlighted this before. Pro-Pakatan supporters say we need to save the country from crisis, and then we ask them what crisis. There's never an answer. They go back to 1MDB. Normal people don't care about 1MDB. They look at GST, definitely. They look at high cost of income. We've had surveys who showed you this. All right, and then I'd just like to react. Okay, yes, 99 was a wave. 2003 it sunk, right?
2003, remember there is a delineation happened. Took
Yes,
place.
and your voter
No.
turnout was lower.
Okay, but
Yeah,
you remember
60%.
Alright, Barisan Nasional
66%.
won 2/3 majority because there was a delineation
Because
process.
there was also 66.3% of voters going out.
There is one only, but
Yeah.
it's more is beyond
So
than that.
it was a boycott. Right? It wasn't so much because of Undi Rosak.
Back
You
then
just
there was
couldn't
none.
you just couldn't inspire people. What do you mean there was none? There was 2%.
But here's the thing though, with the Undi Rosak campaign, how would it bring any change? Like you say you're going to do it to make people say, Pakistan's going to look at it and say, oh, we got to work now, we got to work harder.
Well, we told them 3 months ago, have they been working hard to get our interest in voting? The campaign for Undi Rosak and boycotting PRU started in September 2017. We've given them warnings, the youth are not interested. They themselves admitted that the youth were not coming out and voting. And now suddenly Undi Rosak has become an issue. Why is it now suddenly you want to tell us you shouldn't spoil your vote? What happened to all this talk about there's going to be a Malay tsunami that takes over the country? What happened? Why are you focusing on the 1%, which is about 100,000 people, when you have 4.7 million unregistered voters and 2/3 3.7, they got 1 million people. Okay, fine. You have 3.7 million. Is it still 2/3 under the age of, between the ages of 21 to 30?
Yes.
Yeah. So is it our fault that you suddenly you still can't cater to the youth to get interested? Why are you suddenly attacking the 1%? You have 99 more.
But I think one need to understand about. I agree with Hafiz on the part of people, the young people who want to register. I've been doing voter registration for the past 1 year, you know, but it's also the process itself make it difficult for young people to register, and that is one. That's only one. I'm not saying the main, but one. Two is the hope. There's no hope. Let's don't deny about the opposition, leadership, crisis. You know, they failed. They brought back a 93-year-old man. Let's, you know, that is what is happening out there. But by not going out to vote, because it is our constitutional rights. I'm not saying spoiling a vote is not right. There's campaign going out there and people are supporting it, but I think there's a fundamental issue here. We got the judiciary itself, which is not independent. And we need to reform the judiciary. We need to reform parliament. We need to reform SPR. Are there people saying that the SPR or the election is free and fair in Malaysia? So that's why we can go and boycott or Undi Rosak. I would like to give an example of Nota. Nota in India, you know, India, where you have an option that you're not going to vote, like if there is 3 or 4 candidates, you have the 5th option that not to choose anyone, you know. But look at the democracy in India. Look at the election system in India compared to Malaysia. There's 2 different things. If Malaysia, I mean, our, like Dr. Ying mentioned about the integrity report itself, we are just above Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, you know. So we have this electoral issue that totally, I mean, Bersih been saying and saying and saying. I don't think the Undi Rosak people will want to deny about the electoral issue. So for Bersih or for us, it's like coming out to vote is one way of to fight the fraud and change. I'm not saying that by changing the government or the system or the issue will be solved overnight. No, it's going to be a long struggle. but you need to start with one first. And Malaysians have not tasted two-party system. So this is what that we need to educate people. We move one step ahead, two-party system. And why we are, Hafiz mentioned about Mahathir, right? I mean, for me, is this entire undi rosak just because of Mahathir? If yes, I think what undi rosak group need to do is, wherever Mahathir going to stand for election, go and campaign that all out. Do not make him to become the, I mean, if he doesn't win a seat, you know, he cannot be the prime minister.
Yeah.
So go there. Do not, I mean, there are good people in Pakatan, there are good people in BN, some probably, you know. So why punish, you know? Don't we all, is there anyone disagree that this country is in problem? Cost of living. We are here in Kuala Lumpur, urban. You go back, just go 100 kilometer away from Kuala Lumpur, down in Kuala Selangor or Sekinchan, Tanjung Malim. Ask the people there, are they not suffering? Yes, one MDB is not an issue. True enough, it's just probably for the politicians. You know, I must agree. The young people,
I mean, that's the problem
care.
right there.
Yeah, the young people, they've been speaking they've been speaking wrong language, you know. But
wrong narrative.
Wrong narrative. And I really, again, I still, as of now, I can't understand the narrative of Undi Rosak. Or probably bring a third candidate, put it there. You know, this is calon daripada kami, you know, and vote this person. And unless Undi Rosak is just like, they don't have narrative, just to spoil a vote, and just doesn't care anything, and this will results, I think, will affect a lot of other people outside there.
So, Hafiz,
yes.
Before we go to bed, Dr. Because I see you, I know you want to react to this.
Oh, I want to react to a lot of things.
He made a very valid point though. If your problem is with Mahathir, why not change Undi Rosak to Tolak Mahathir instead?
Okay, first of all, I'm one person in Undi Rosak, okay? And my problem is not with Mahathir alone. Okay. My problem is with the policies. When you are talking about saving the country, and then you say, let's give them free EPL on RTM. What the heck are you trying to save the country with that?
But that is one only. I mean,
yeah. I mean, let's look at the other issues. You had since 2008 to form a shadow cabinet to actually prove a two-party system.
Don't show me, I'm not the Pakatan Harapan. It's like you.
I'm just saying, you know, you brought the point of a two-party system.
Yeah.
By 2008, right, or maybe 2010, the Independent and most of the UK media on social media started showing live, all right, parliamentary proceedings. They saw the shadow cabinet in the UK. Where's ours? Wan Azizah went and said there's not enough money for shadow cabinet. But let's be honest, the truth is that within Pakatan Harapan, they cannot form a shadow cabinet because they don't even trust themselves. Alright? You want a two-party system? Act like a two-party system. If you cannot even get yourself into a shadow cabinet, you can't decide who's the shadow prime minister, you can't decide who's shadow ministry of education, you can't decide who's shadow finance minister. And I know this because I've heard it. DAP has MPs who are actually covering 3 portfolios. They've organized themselves within cabinet. Okay, this MP will talk about these topics. This MP talk about these topics. Why can't they form a shadow cabinet? If DAP can do it by themselves, what's wrong with PKR, Amanah at that time, PAS also, to do it? What was the problem? Right? And to this day, they still don't have a shadow cabinet. It's been 10 years. Alright? And he said, okay, there's no hope. He himself said, there's no hope between Pakatan and BN. Exactly our point in Undi Rosak. There's no hope between the two. Why do you want us to choose? Why?
Probably I can rephrase.
I mean, this is on the record. This is the video later on.
Yeah, of course. I will not deny that it's my fault. Yeah.
You said there was no hope.
But, you know, Hafiz is very saying about shadow cabinet and
that's my point. I mean, that's from my side. I don't know about Mahathir. That's another point.
I don't know why we are just too focused between Harapan and BN. Like, we need to choose one. Of course, in the ballot box, we need to choose. And we put everything for them to solve the issues of the country. Like, because they are elected, so they need to solve. For me, I think, yes, because we are not in politics. We are not running for election. Yes, they go in politics. But we as a pressure group, we can do more. We can do a lot from outside, you know. It's not about just because you are there, so therefore you need to solve the problem. I think we shouldn't go there, you know, like just because you're a politician, you're a minister. We have seen like, I give an example of Parliamentary Select Committee. Even though there was a bipartisan committee between Barisan Nasional and the opposition at the time, but Bersih, as an NGO, we played our, we were consulted, we were asked to give a lot of input. And when you see the report, there was some, the 22 recommendation, there was some of it was Bersih demands, you know, like indelible ink. So I believe that we can play a role. So they can be elected or what, but there are a lot more things we can do from outside, you know. So we shouldn't just focus, but the ultimate thing is we still need to go out to vote, let a group to form a government, and we need to push further for reform. End of the day, everything will come is through reform. And in order to make somebody or this person not powerful, this position not super powerful, so that there is no abuse of power, it's about reforming the institutions. And it's our duty, either with civil society or as Malaysians, to push. And if they fail to do in the next 5 years, out you go, we bring. So we become the boss that we now decide who come to office and who go out from the office, which we don't have today. Here in Malaysia, we don't have today the election system itself. Of course, people can argue that if not, how Selangor? The terms of Selangor, how change could happen in Selangor. Need to remember that it was for the first time the voter turnout was high, and it's also because of 1 versus 1, a straight fight. But today is totally a different issue here. But again, I still cannot understand how Undi Rosak can really come up with a solution. Hafidz may not be the person who are against Mahathir, but if you see outside there, you go on Twitter or Facebook with the hashtag Undi Rosak, it's very clear. It's just because of one person, Mahathir. You know, just because of one person. So we shouldn't come out to vote. Why don't you go and Langkawi, Kubang Pasu, Putrajaya, Pematang Pau, and so that you will teach a lesson also to somebody tomorrow that this is what will happen to you if you do this.
Dr. Khoo earlier talked about the state of Malaysian democracy. Will the Undi Rosak campaign help Malaysia's move for democracy, or would it hamper it? Because a lot of people don't seem to understand it.
Well, the question is, as I highlighted before, we are not fully democratic country. And with that systems, people do not even understand. Even the campaigners can't tell me exactly what are the main key goals of the Undi Rosak. Because what I hear is is more of gerakan anti Pakatan. And how about the Barisan Nasional? We have given them, if we move beyond the these two, Pakatan Harapan versus Barisan Nasional, so move beyond all the partisanship politics and all, why are you not questioning about it's 60 years, 6 decades with the Barisan Nasional, and then what have they done? It should be fair on, logically, the Undi Rosak campaign, it should be questioned both sides. So we have given you 6 decades, you have not done anything. And why are you saying that 10 years and then you're not giving us anything?
Who is not in federal government, the 10 years? Never in federal government.
So where's the logic? It is not to say the Undi Rosak is not legitimate. You can, in other countries, for example, there are many factors of why is there the high percentage of Undi Rosak. In the poor countries, it would be they don't know how to vote. But ours, when we have overcome that pretty well, we are on the track with the 86% of voters turnout in 2013. It is it's a high record. It's the highest record, and we have achieved that. If you look at among the within the countries, Southeast Asia, for example, it is really high. The 86% is really high. But we have achieved that, and then suddenly you come up with the campaign and then telling people you Undi Rosak. But what's the message? And then what if the spoil votes? And then how? And then what does it lead to? And then who's going to solve the country's problem? Who's going to solve the country's crisis if we don't give any chance for change? Because if the Undi Rosak, there's no guarantee that Pakatan will win. There's no guarantee that Barisan Nasional will win. Because in the end of the day is the voters will decide. So the logic is just missing somewhere. Yeah.
I mean, she mentioned it. The logic is very simple. The voters will decide. And for Undi Rosak, we are saying, well, there's a third choice. If you don't like either one, go ahead and spoil your vote. I mean, that's the logic. That's what we're talking about.
But you mentioned there's no looking beyond, right? Sorry.
Yeah, we are looking beyond.
What is beyond?
We're looking beyond this election already. We are not going out to vote in this election. We are going to vote probably.
But I think here's what you're getting at. If you don't vote for both, what is there to look forward to? How do you make change?
Why don't you advocate for Nota?
We do. I was just published in the Star today advocating Nota.
But that's not enough. You know, for electoral reform, it take decades. I mean, for another Nota, there should be a big campaign or something. It would take another few years, 10 years, 20 years.
Yes, unfortunately, we do not have that system, right?
No.
Yeah, but you have
right now.
Of course, you don't have. That's why you have to advocate.
So that's why we're advocating spoil your votes.
But instead of advocating that, could you not advocate that? Would that not be a?
Is that in any of the campaigns?
Oh, Bersih. No, for us it's come out to work. For us it's no. Because
I mean,
we are not.
Is there any electoral reform that says we want to put Nota on a ballot paper?
Why don't you start it?
No, I'm asking you because you've been campaigning for free and fair elections.
For us, come out, don't spoil your vote. Bersih been campaigning
Okay,
all the way.
Let's.
I think the question was to you, and then throwing back to us. I think there is. I mean, Undi Rosak, fine. You want Undi Rosak, like what?
Let's pay attention to what Mandeep said just now. Bersih is telling people to come out and vote. We, as Undi Rosak, are telling you to come out and vote. We just don't care who you vote for.
No, I think it's different. You are saying spoil your vote.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not about I don't care you vote for whom. Bersih use I don't care you vote for whom, but Bersih never said come out and spoil your vote. It's two different thing.
Okay.
It's two different thing.
Fine.
I think we need to be very clear here.
At the same time, I'm telling them, okay, you don't have to decide between the two.
And what
That's
is beyond?
But where do you go on from there?
From there on, we really don't care if it's a BN government, if it's a Pakatan government.
You might be don't care because you might be educated, you might be in the privileged.
I think
how about those people
I
in
think
the
this
rural
is
areas?
I think this is actually very, very unfair to the voters because you're saying they're not educated. Okay, if Terengganu of all people can decide whether or not to boycott an election, how can you say they're not educated?
No, I mean we have gone through that stage.
Yes,
that was 1999.
and we're coming back there now because both sides are not feasible, promoting feasible candidates.
I just want to know, like, is it the circle of just 20, 100, or how many of y'all who feel that because there is no option from both sides, or is it the bigger circle outside there? I mean, when we talk about going to no idea. So can I say that actually it's just a few people, 10, 20 people trying to influence people in social media, and has been
influencing anyone.
What is the point of the hashtag then if you're not trying to influence anyone?
The point of the hashtag is to just tell people, you know what, I think this. This is freedom of speech, right? An individual has the right to say something.
Of course.
So we're just telling people, you know what, I'm going to spoil my vote. I don't like either of these people.
So can I say there is no narrative, there is no solution of Undi Rosak, but just to sabotage, you know, sabotage the ballot. I mean, okay, I may not be sabotage, okay, but just
sabotage who?
Boycott. No. Okay.
Because it's recorded on the electoral results. If you spoil your vote, you will see there.
Okay, so let's say we have 30% of spoil vote come to GE14, right? Let's say.
I don't think it's going to be that high, but sure, let's go with that.
Okay, whatever percent, or like 10%, 1%.
Do you see how ridiculous it becomes now?
1% out of 13 million.
If you think it's not going to be that high, why you want to start a campaign?
Yeah.
The campaign is always about getting as high as you want.
Yeah.
If you think it is not going to be high, then
okay, if you had a choice, would you like to see the campaign grow? Would you like to see more people back Undi Rosak?
Oh heck no. I've actually said this. If it gets higher than 5%, I get very worried. For the simple
He's
fact that
contradicting himself, you know.
for the very simple fact that if 5% of the people can't choose between Barisan Nasional and Pakatan Harapan or even PAS, that means our democratic system has no choice of party. They have lost faith in Pakatan, they have lost faith in Barisan Nasional.
But isn't that what the campaign is about? To show these people that you don't back them. So if more people do it, it's good for your campaign.
So have you explained to the people outside there that, you know, you are worried yourself 5%. Have you explained that you don't have a concrete plan also if it's more than 5%? Have you explained in a narrative to the people outside that? Or you just been, because I must agree with Dr. Ying say that is this a gerakan anti Pakatan Harapan, or you know?
Is that what it is, Hafiz? Is it a gerakan anti Harapan?
No, of course not. For example, if you look today, suddenly the Puteri UMNO leader came out on Twitter trying to tell us to vote. We are against both sides. The reason why we are so vocal against Pakatan is because we used to back Pakatan and promote Pakatan for 10 years.
Yeah, but Pakatan was never in the federal government. I'm not here to defend them.
Okay.
But we need to be fair to them who were not in a situation to be in a federal government, you know.
Okay. Do you consider them an opposition or a government in waiting?
It's for you to, I mean, how you define it.
Okay, how do you define?
Do
you want to see Pakatan run the government?
I want to change in the.
I
want to
just
change
yes
in
or
system.
no? Come on.
Do
you want to see Pakatan run the government?
Looking at their manifesto and policy, I will support.
Okay.
I will support.
So he wants to support that. Alright? Now I ask you, are they actually acting like a government in waiting? Or are they actually
we are running away from the Undi Rosa.
Let's get Dr. Khoo to
I mean, that's one thing I would like to see Pakatan do. I mean, I agree. I want to see Pakatan run the country, but not like this.
You just contradict yourself, whereby you said, yes, now the BN leaders and the PH leaders are all calling out to people to vote, but you mentioned that the group of yours are the ones who thinks that Pakatan Harapan did not perform well during the 10 years that you given. But if you're doing a campaign, you should also get those people who anti Barisan Nasional, who pro BN, but thinks that they are not doing well, because there are groups, youth groups, who are always been supporting the Barisan Nasional, but getting really frustrated with no reforms. That's how a campaign works.
From my side, right, I was 10 years with Pakatan. If there are pro-BN people who are also in Undi Rosa, let them be. We are a loose movement. We have no leadership, we have no org chart. It's just a group of us using a hashtag, which suddenly went trending.
But the group seems to be punishing Harapan more than BN.
Because any low
because everyone punishes BN.
I think not should be punished.
Pardon?
I think not should be punished. With all the 60 years education system, electoral issue, MACC, I mean, they've ruined the country. I didn't be punished.
I agree. They have ruined the country.
So you agree they should be punished?
Of course.
Then why Rosa? How Rosa can help to
because
punish
I don't think Pakatan can fix it.
But you want Pakatan in power? I think.
But the statistics show you very clearly.
Here is the problem with Mandeep. Do I want Pakatan in power? Yes. And I have said this very clearly. I want them in power, but not now. I can wait 5 to 10 years until all the dinosaurs die out.
It's not fair, I think, to the people.
Oh, come on. It's not fair. They're youths. When has fair ever come into the equation? It's politics. Wow, silence on the scene. It's politics, okay? Here's the problem with your narrative from both sides, okay? Bersih wants free and fair elections. We agree, we want free and fair elections. I will even sign your Kajang redelineation, which looks like a Pokemon.
Oh yeah, are you a voter there?
No, I'm a voter in Shah Alam.
Okay.
My point exactly. I have to choose between 3 conservatives lah. It's kind of a headache. Alright? That's from my side. Now, do we want to go through with redelineation? We don't actually care, but I don't want to personally. Alright? You have to understand, Undi Rosa is an amalgamation of people pissed off with Mahathir, people pissed off with Pakatan, people pissed off with BN. If there are people pissed off with BN, I'd be interested to see what they have to say.
Have you tried to reach them, or reach out these people who pissed off with BN, or never? Because currently it's all the...
I don't know, man. The people who are pissed off with BN are usually in Pakatan. Now they're pissed off with Pakatan also.
You mentioned...
Yes.
3...
Hang on.
We know this.
May I continue for a while? Okay. So the problem is, yes, we actually do not want redelineation to go through, or maybe some of them do want it to go through. I don't. And I'm willing to go to Bukit Lanjan later on to just sign that petition for 100,000
You can sign in
voters.
Bersih office.
Oh really? Where's Bersih's office?
Just nearby here.
I didn't know. Right? And it was very interesting to see the comment asking me to become a spokesperson. That was ironic. Yes. For that, I will support them. If they want free and fair elections, I will support them. But if you're telling me that undi rosak myself, I have to actually vote BN or PH in Shah Alam, or maybe PAS. I think PAS is going to contest Shah Alam. I will not do it. For the very simple fact is, I don't agree with either of them. Alright?
Dr. Khoo, you had something to say earlier.
Yeah.
You are being so selective. You're saying you yourself, but when you channel out the messages, it goes to everybody. And then how do they know that? Oh, you say Shah Alam because it's Pakatan PH versus BN, so you're not gonna vote. But different constituency has different. But are you sure that people understand what are you trying to deliver? That's one thing.
I think I've written it a few times in September.
But if you go down, I mean, actually, you don't need to go down. I mean, doesn't need to go down. Doesn't need to go down.
Why do I have to go down?
Explain, because I think I must agree with Dr. Ying. You're giving a situation there in Shah Alam between three candidates, so you have no choice. But this is, I have not read, I have not seen in social media. This is the narrative because there is no better candidate.
Okay, first of all,
no better candidate, and undi rosak, I think it's two different things. You know, no better candidate. People, I mean, if I put in a situation between PAS and UMNO, I think I myself will be in an issue. Who do I vote for, right? But this is not the narrative of undi rosak. For undi rosak, it's just like go and ask everyone. There is no clear. As of now, I think it's already 30 minutes. I'm still not convinced what they can do after.
Wouldn't it be easy to just ask people to go vote for BN? If you're going to send a message to Pakatan.
For the very simple fact that I don't think they want to vote BN either. I think a lot of people hate Najib. I don't think they like the 1MDB issue, even though some of them don't even understand the 1MDB issue. I think they don't like the GST, which was unpopular. I may back the GST, they don't. Maybe they are complaining there are no jobs, which, of course, somebody said it's disappointing that people go into Uber and sell nasi lemak, but let's not go into that. Alright, so I'm sure, and this is the main point here, undi rosak, the reason why it is so anti-PH, right, is because Barisan Nasional supporters and voters who do undi rosak are very quiet. They're just reading. And I will tell you why this is actually true. Because if you look at the 2008, 2013 elections, right, you can check Chua Ti Yong's seat in Labis. There was a lot of unhappy voters there. These are all statistics. You can see the general election results. Alright? There's a reason why in 2008, Ketereh even, Anwar Musa lost, and then in 2013, he won. The reason why is because in 2008, they already boycotted, they already did the undi rosak movement. And that's how Zulkifli, Dr. Zul, God bless him, I like him, I love his explanations. That's how he won Kuala Selangor. I mean, we can see all the stats. You can look at the stats, right? And you will note.
But how sure? I just want to go back on Dr. Zul. How sure are you that it was a boycott movement? Because this undi rosak, I mean, they are real undi rosak. You know, need to remember when the Dawat Kekal was used, and for the first time on 5th of May, he actually spoiled a lot of ballot as well. So how sure are you? What it was a movement to really undi semua? Like if I'm not mistaken, your group said that undi semua. How sure are we that was boycott? How sure are we that was done purposely? It was not a sincere mistake.
Because on the 9th
I don't think it's fair to assume.
Because on the 9th of April 2008, the question was asked by Utusan to the EC, would that have been a possibility undi rosak was an issue? And they said protest undi rosak was an issue. Okay? Even in I think Dr. Siva from USM, he wrote this I think last week, and he talked about undi rosak as well. And he also mentioned a number of seats that might be affected by undi rosak and actually triggered a problem. I think I have it here. Do I have it here? I think I have it here. Okay, here we go.
No.
Yeah, columnist for the Utusan paper. Alright, these are the sheets that show a high vote percentage of undi rosak. Yeah, and this is his quote. Yang paling tidak menyeronokkan adalah untuk melihat undi rosak lebih besar dari majoriti yang diperoleh oleh seseorang calon dan atau di sebaliknya dengan majoriti sedikit lebih dari undi rosak. These are the seats he mentioned: Machang, Ketereh, Tebrau, Bagan Serai, Segamat, Beaufort, Cameron Highlands, Bentong, Kuala Selangor, Baram. Okay, so this is not new.
I think it's
just
different.
it's just that now it's loud because people are using and saying it on social media. And this is why I said it is not new, because Barisan Nasional voters are not loud. They are not like Pakatan Harapan supporters who got pissed off.
Dr. Khoo, just to ask you, is this a dangerous trend? Since a lot of people don't seem to understand what he's saying, they think it's an umbrella movement. Is this dangerous for democracy in Malaysia?
Hafidz just proved that he's not doing a movement, but he's doing a very selective kind of from his place, and then started something, but without thinking that it could be or could not be bring any consequences. That is just to use social media and then to
I want
start.
to correct her. It's not that I don't know. It's just that I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wanted
And
to
this
go
is
to
the-
that point
Yeah.
that you don't care.
Yeah.
Just now exactly when
And
I
that's what
said.
undi rosak is about. They don't care. You want to
When-
tell them nothing. You want to tell them don't do this. They don't care anymore.
When I said the groups that started the campaign might be more well educated and privileged, but you got offended and you said it's not like that. But you kept on using that. You say I don't care, but the people do care.
If they
You
care, they
might
vote.
don't care, but the people's livings might be affected or whatsoever and things like that if there's no change.
And that's
how
why
about
we
these
tell them
people?
if they care, they should go out and vote. I mean, this is
But-
my message. Undi
It
rosak-
is.
No, it's not.
It is.
He has corrected himself totally, you know. Go out to vote. If you care, you vote.
Yeah,
But I don't care.
I don't care. If you still care, go out and vote. How is this surprising?
But
I
isn't the
don't.
point of the campaign is because you care, because you want to see things improve? If you don't care, then what's the point of the campaign?
It is
point of the
irresponsible to say
campaign-
I don't care.
Yeah.
How is it irresponsible when you have political parties from both sides who argue and look exactly the same?
When you call it as a campaign and you say I don't care, but you can, but you're sending the different signals, confusing people, and then it is irresponsible.
Why is it confusing people?
How do you know people wanna go? I got confused. I got confused with your message. I tried to understand the logic.
Yeah.
You're trying to understand the logic
I
of
want
the
to be
whole
convinced as well.
Yeah.
Alright, okay. You want to understand the whole logic from the whole campaign, or do you want to understand the logic from me?
No campaign, because you are. I mean, you are part of the campaign, or I mean, a campaigner for Undi Rosak. I don't
Are
want to
there
hear
two
from you.
different movements going on?
No. First and foremost, undi rosak has no select campaign. We are just a random bunch of individuals, each of them with separate messages. You have the undi rosak who goes against Tun Mahathir, correct? You have the undi rosak who's not
I don't
happy
know.
with Pakatan.
You don't ask me
You
correct.
didn't
I
know
don't
such-
know.
yeah.
I doesn't know.
I mean, then why are we having this forum?
No, you are saying there is a
What undi rosak is?
Yeah.
Hey, undi
I want to be
rosak.
convinced.
From my perspective, and I just say this is my perspective. You can ask Edri, you can ask Haris. I think Haris is another one. You can ask Benz. Why is he pissed off? For myself, this whole campaign that they are doing, and I just joined in because for me, Pakatan has dropped the ball. They fumbled. Okay, I have always been against Barisan. Some things I agree with, Pakatan as well. When you came out with the idea that, you know, 100 ringgit monthly pass for public transport, we need that back. We definitely need that back. Alright? But when you say I want 30 kilometers of bicycle tracks in every city, I think you better look at the sidewalks first, whether the kaki lima is actually lima
Is
kaki.
it their manifesto? Or what?
Yeah, it's in the manifesto.
The youth manifesto?
Yeah, youth manifesto. When you say you want EPL instead of bringing back TV Pendidikan, which might be more helpful instead of escapism, right? When you can't form a shadow cabinet after 10 years.
Have you actually put all these issues and said that this is the reason why? Have you done a comparison between Barisan Nasional Manifesto, Pakatan Manifesto, and this is why we are going to Undi Rosa? Have you done it?
Has Barisan released the manifesto?
I don't know. But enough to see the GE13 manifesto. And have you looked into the institution reform that
I will go back all the way even to the budget and the shadow budget. I have actually criticized both budgets.
So have you put it properly that this, because of this, that's why we Undi Rosa?
It was in a Twitter thread.
I never see it.
That's the problem.
Have you seen it?
Okay, let's have like final wrapping statements from all of you. Dr. Khoo, would you like to start?
I think Hafidz say that it is just among the friends and then say that they're not happy with the Pakatan, so they join in and then form their own groups and doing something. But you have to realize that in the globalization era that we are living in, whatever you write, whatever you tweet, you have to be responsible of what you say. If you say it is just for me, you have to really mention it properly among your friends, and then not to say that you have to do this and that. It is irresponsible for me if you think you say there's no campaign, there's no movement actually, but just media take it. But we are living in a different world right now where people quote your tweets and people do that. If you think you're not, you should clarify that. Don't, it is just me, you shouldn't, and then it's not a movement, you should clarify that. Rather than it becomes bigger and then it might give consequences that you cannot afford to actually bear with it. Yeah.
Okay, Mandeep?
I think from the conversation today, it's clear that the Undi Rosa, there is no narrative. They have no narrative, and if I can say that, because they doesn't care actually. So do not fall under this campaign of Undi Rosa, because I think because of a group of people, probably so many others people are going to suffer. We deserve a better tomorrow. The Malaysians deserve a better tomorrow. So come out to vote. Who you vote doesn't, for me, I don't care. But vote on, there is vote one person or one candidate or one party. Do not vote so many, because they don't have a narrative, and this is a group of people that they don't care. Hafidz have used the word don't care, So care about yourself, care about the country, come out to vote and do not spoil your vote.
Hafidz, you have 1 minute.
Alright. Oh,
1 minute.
Wow.
You got it.
Okay.
Did you bring him or what?
I don't know. I thought everyone got like more time than me. Okay. So my message to the people is simple. You don't trust BN, you don't trust PAS, you definitely have lost trust of Pakatan Harapan. That's me. Okay? Similar to me, I gave them 10 years to grow up, they didn't grow up. So now, you can go out and vote, like Mandeep said, definitely go out and vote, but spoil it. Ruin it. Just show them you've lost faith in all of them.
And with that, I'd like to thank all my guests, Hafidz, Mandeep, and Dr. Khoo. Write in the comments, let us know what you think of the Spoil Your Vote campaign. #?
Undi Rosa.
Thank you.